Have you ever bought a fresh pineapple, chopped off that beautiful leafy top, and just tossed it straight into the trash? Well, if you have, don't worry, you're definitely not alone. But you're kind of throwing away a free, amazing tropical houseplant. That little spiky top can actually become a brand new, thriving pineapple plant. And with just a bit of patience, you could eventually harvest a sweet, delicious pineapple of your very own.
In this explainer, we're going to cover the whole shebang. First, saving that pineapple crown. Second, the prep, curing, and planting phase. Third, proper care and patience. Fourth, a cool trick called propagating pups and slips. And finally, number 5, upgrading to heirloom varieties.
All right, let's jump right into part 1. Save that pineapple crown. Basically, don't throw away your next houseplant.
Okay, let's dive into this. Next time you're at the store, keep an eye out for a really healthy-looking pineapple with a fresh, green crown. You want to avoid any leaves that are super brown or feeling mushy. Now, once you get it home and you're ready to eat it, getting that crown off is actually a breeze. You can take a knife and carefully slice the top off, making sure to leave about an inch of the fruit attached. Or, and this is kind of fun, if the pineapple is ripe enough, you can just grab the crown firmly and twist the whole thing right off with your bare hands. Once that crown is off, we need to prep the base. If you went the knife route, you've got to carefully trim away all that excess yellow pineapple flesh. Leaving that sweet, wet fruit attached is literally a fast track to rotting, and we definitely don't want that. Next up, just strip away several of the lowest leaves. Honestly, just peel them back like you're peeling a banana. As you do this, you're going to notice these tiny little bumps underneath. Those are called root initials. Basically, they're preformed roots just waiting for their chance to grow. Exposing these little guys is absolutely crucial for your new plant to survive.
Moving right along to part 2, prep, cure, and plant. Setting up for success.
I know, it's incredibly tempting to take that freshly trimmed crown and just jam it right into some dirt. But wait, patience starts right now. You really need to think of that fresh cut you just made as a wound. And well, you have to let it heal. You'll want to place your crown somewhere indoors, maybe a dry, shady spot, for a couple of days. This is a process called curing. It allows that wet end to dry out and form a tough callus. If you skip this part and stick a wet, open wound into damp soil, man, fungi and bacteria are going to turn your fun little project into a rotting, smelly disaster in no time.
Okay, so once your crown is nicely cured and calloused over, it is finally time to plant. Grab a pot, maybe 6 to 8 inches across. Now, it is absolutely non-negotiable that this pot has good drainage holes. Seriously, don't skip that. Fill it up with a nice, light, well-draining potting mix. Make a little hole in the center and plant the base right in there about 3 to 4 inches deep. You just want it deep enough to hold the plant securely upright. Make sure you don't bury the leaves, just that bare stalk we stripped earlier. Gently firm the soil around it and give it a drink. You're aiming for moist soil here, never soggy.
Now for part 3. Proper care and patience. The waiting game begins.
So getting it into the dirt, that was just the beginning. Remember, pineapples are tropical plants. That means they absolutely crave warmth and bright light. A sunny window is a perfect starting spot, but eventually they're going to want full-on sun. Now, if you live somewhere that gets freezing winters, you have to protect them from frost. A hard freeze will easily wipe them out. For the soil, they like it just slightly acidic, somewhere between a 4.5 and 6.5 pH. Oh, and definitely avoid what's called caliche soil. It's this chalky, limestone-heavy stuff that pineapples absolutely hate because it locks up all their nutrients. And for watering, just give them a drink when the top layer of the soil starts drying out.
All right, so your plant is potted up, it's soaking in the sun, you're watering it like a pro. Naturally, the big question on your mind right now is how long does this all take? Like, when do I actually get to eat my pineapple?
Well, there's this great quote from Art Farm down on St. Croix that I just love. A good pine takes time. And honestly, it hits the nail right on the head. I've got to level with you here. This is a true long-term gardening project. You are definitely not harvesting a juicy pineapple next month or even by the end of this summer.
Brace yourself for this reality check. It typically takes anywhere from 18 to 32 months from the day you plant that kitchen scrap to the day you slice into a mature fruit. Yeah, you heard me right. That is over 2 years of watering, waiting, and watching. But please, don't let that scare you off. The payoff is so incredibly worth it. Plus, I'm about to share a pro secret that completely changes the game for your future harvests. That brings us to part 4, propagating pups and slips. This is the ultimate growth hack. So here's that massive growth hack I mentioned. Your first plant? It's not just going to give you one single pineapple and call it quits. As it matures and fruits, it actually spawns clones of itself. These little clones basically come in 2 flavors. First, you have pups, which are also called suckers. These guys sprout up right from the base or wedge themselves between the leaves of the mother plant. Then you have slips, which pop out directly from the stalk right underneath the growing fruit. Once these little clones get to be about 8 to 12 inches long, you just wiggle and twist them right off the main plant. Then cure them for a few days, exactly like you did with the grocery store crown, and pop them into some soil. And this brilliantly illustrates why propagating pups is an absolute game changer. Think about it. Growing a brand new pineapple from a store-bought crown takes 2 to 3 long years, right? But growing a new one from an established pup, that only takes 1 to 1.5 years. By using these pups and slips, you are literally cutting your entire waiting time completely in half.
Which leads perfectly into part 5, upgrading to heirloom varieties, basically leaving the grocery store behind. Welcome to the pro tier, my friends, because once you've actually mastered this whole growing and propagating process, you do not have to settle for those standard supermarket pineapples anymore. The difference in quality here is just mind-blowing. See, your typical store-bought pineapple is a variety called Smooth Cayenne. It's got these aggressive, spiky leaves, a really tough, woody core that you just have to throw out, and honestly, a pretty standard acidic taste. But heirloom varieties, things like the white jade or the sugarloaf, oh man, they have these soft, spineless leaves that make them a total joy to handle. Their cores are soft, juicy, and 100% edible, zero waste. And the flavor? It's ultra sweet with incredibly low acid. You literally cannot buy these in normal stores because they're way too delicate to ship. That makes them the absolute ultimate prize for a home grower.
Oh, and actually, if you want the absolute pinnacle of backyard growing, you've got to look into the rare Florida landrace. This is a historic heirloom variety, and it's famous for producing ridiculously sweet fruit with these amazing floral, vanilla-like notes, and it can do it in just 12 months. Plus, get this, a single plant can spawn up to 9 pups. That means from just one single plant, you could kick off a massive, thriving pineapple patch the very next year.
So what does this all mean for you? Well, the next time you bring a fresh pineapple home from the grocery store, I challenge you to look at it just a little bit differently. Whatever you do, don't throw that top in the trash. Twist it off, strip those lower leaves, let it cure, and get it right into some soil. Yes, it's a 2 to 3 year journey to get started, but it is such a wildly rewarding experience that teaches you so much about the resilience of nature. And eventually, it unlocks a lifetime supply of the absolute best pineapples you will ever taste. So the choice is yours. Are you going to keep throwing a beautiful tropical oasis into the garbage, or are you finally ready to grow your own?